In a daring operation, members of the Czech resistance assassinated Reinhard Heydrich. He had been second in the SS only to Himmler, ruler of what is today the Czech Republic, and a close associate of Adolf Hitler. In a rage over Heydrich's death, Hitler ordered that any village found to have given aid to the killers would be totally annihilated. 14 miles west of Prague, the town of Lidice was thought to have supported the assassins. With this information, the Nazis set out to eradicate Lidice from the face of the earth. This is the town of Lidice here in the Czech Republic. We're only a few miles outside Prague, but this was a very, very important site in the Holocaust. Let me give you a little background information. In 1939, before World War II even started, the Nazis invaded and occupied the Czech Republic. Also in 1939, the Czech Republic was renamed the Protectorate of Bohemia and Moravia. It became a Nazi colony, and an SS man was put in charge. Eventually, the new leader of this protectorate is an SS leader right next to Heinrich Himmler in the ranks. His name was Reinhard Heydrich. Heydrich was known as the Butcher. He was extremely brutal. He was even considered a successor to Hitler in the future. In May of 1942, the British dropped 2 Czech patriots from a plane. They parachuted into Prague with a secret mission to assassinate Heydrich. In May, they did this. They had got to Prague, they found their target, and they were successful. They killed Heydrich. In reprisal for this, the Nazis decided they were going to show the Czech people that who's in charge. Don't forget, guys, Czechs, just like Poles, are Slavic peoples. And on the Nazi racial hierarchy, Slavic peoples are just one step above Jews on the social scale. So Czech people did not mean much to the Nazis when it came to race and ideology. So they picked this town. They decided they were going to murder every single woman, man, and child, and then destroy every building. Literally, wipe it off the map. You are basically looking at what was once the town back before 1942. So today what we're going to do, we're going to go on to the grounds, we're going to take a tour, and see what Lidice now has to show us. Follow me. Our walking tour of Lidice will take us to several locations. The first will be to the foundations of the Horak farm, where the men of the village were taken to by the SS. All the men of Lidice, 172 of them, were murdered right here in the town before the town was completely destroyed. Many of them were lined up right here at this site. This is the ruins of a farmhouse. They were lined up 5 at a time, no blindfolds, no sentences read, and simply shot. The Gestapo officer in charge thought things were going too slow, so he doubled the amount of people in the firing squad and made it 10 people in a row would be lined up against the barn house. All 172 men were then buried right over there in a mass grave. And the grave still exists to this very day. As you can see, it's a major memorial with a cross, flowers, plaque to commemorate all the men who were simply wiped out by the SS here on this spot on June 10th, 1942. Their bodies lay right here to this very day. There's a memorial right here telling people exactly what's here. 173 of the DJ men still rest here after their execution by German Nazis on the 10th of June, 1942. As you can see by the date, I told you the Czech patriots, they got into Prague on May 30th. The DJ was exterminated on June 10th. So the Nazis did this very, very quickly and very brutally. Next, we come to the site of the most important building in the village. Okay, I have a question for everybody. In old European towns, does anybody know what structure was always the biggest?
The church.
The church. This is the remains of St. Martin's Church. Guys, this church was built in the 14th century. All that remains is the outline of its foundation. The priest went along with all the other men and was shot right over there where we were before. This is the largest structure in the town. This is all that remains of a church that would be over 700 years old today. So take a look around. All right, we can go by the pulpit, we can go around over there, check out what once was. Pat?
Is that altar just like a symbolic
right,
altar?
Yeah. Guys, the altar is in the place where the altar used to be. It's symbolic, it's not the original one. That's a good question. All right, guys, let's take a minute. Let's walk around here. Our next stop on our tour is right next to the church, the remains of the town school. It's here where the SS rounded up Lidice's women and children. The youngsters were then separated from their mothers. 88 of them were sent directly to Chełmno extermination camp, and another 7 were deemed quote-unquote racially fit and adopted by German families. To symbolize the separation from their mothers, the Czech people placed a monument on the site in 1957 called the Crying Woman. This is the memorial to the women of the town. According to this plaque, 60 of the Lidice women were murdered by the Nazis at this place. All the rest of the female population of this town was sent to concentration camps. In particular, they were sent to Ravensbrück, the infamous women's-only concentration camp. Most of them died there, and only a few of them were able to return to their hometown, which by this point was completely destroyed. This is the memorial to them. As you can see, there is a statue of a woman mourning. And if you follow me now, we'll head to our next spot. Come on. Our last stop on today's tour leads us to the memorial dedicated to the most innocent victims of Lidice, the children.
So, Mr. Bichko, we know the men were shot, the women were sent to the camps. What exactly happened to the kids?
Good question. The Nazis systematically are going to destroy this town. They shot the men, they sent the women to the camps. The children, don't forget, children don't go to concentration camps. There's no purpose. The children, when they would get to any camp like Auschwitz, does anybody know immediately where the children would be sent? Gas chambers. And that's exactly what happened to the children of this town. All the children were gathered up, sent right to the death camps, and they were all gassed. This is the memorial for the 32 children of the town that were gassed in the gas chambers. As you can see, many people have flowers and toys. Just imagine it, you're 6, 7 years old. You're taken away from your parents, you're sent to this camp, you have no clue where you are, you're just with other kids, and they put you right in a gas chamber. Of the 4 million people that are sent to camps, of the 11 million people all together in the Holocaust, more than 1 million of them were kids.
I have a question.
Yeah, Mandy?
Are these like, do you know that these are the exact kids, if this is what they looked like?
Great question. The answer is no. This is just to represent the children of the town. That's a great question. Because the town was destroyed, obviously, we do not have specific photographic evidence of every child of the town. So this is simply a representation of the children of the town. It's a great question. But here's the memorial. Okay. So as you can see here, the 82 children of Lidice were gassed by the Nazis in 1942 in memory of the millions of children who perished in the Second World War. 82 children, 173 men, an equal amount of women. all died here, thanks to the Nazis. Hitler ordered Lidice to be wiped from the face of the earth. Its buildings were set on fire and then destroyed with explosives. Even the pets and livestock were slaughtered. All dead in the cemetery coffins were looted for gold fillings and jewelry. Workers then rerouted the stream, destroyed all the roads, and put topsoil over the town. The Nazis kept what happened to Lidice no secret. They proudly broadcast what they did to the world, and reaction was of shock and disbelief.
America answers German savagery. Lidice in Czechoslovakia was wiped out, but a new Lidice in Illinois has been dedicated to its memory. Wendell Willkie spoke for all America at the dedication.
Those Nazis, they came in the night, men in boots and in brown shirts, and they took from their homes the bewildered miners and farmers, the tailor and the priest, the boy of 17 and the old man of 70, more than 200 in all, and they shot them because they could think of no other way to avenge the death of Heydrich. 56 women they also killed, and they proudly listed the name of those women. The rest of the women they drove into what they call concentration camps, and these women the world will never see again. Let us here highly resolve that the memory of this little village of Bohemia, now resurrected by the people of a little village in Illinois, will fire us now until the battle is over with the iron resolution that the madness of tyrants must perish from the earth, so that the earth may return to the people to whom it belongs and be their village, their home forever.
So on June 10th, 1942, the town of Lidice ceased to exist. The Nazis intended every single individual to be eradicated, either immediately or following in the gas chambers or the concentration camps. A few of the children were Germanized, basically ethnically cleansed of their Czech heritage and brought up into be Germans for the future. This is an incredible place. It's a reminder, the same as Auschwitz and Dachau and all the other concentration camps, of the horrors the Nazi regime did. I hope you learned a lot about this town, and of course, I'll see you on our next in-class field trip. Take care.